Welcome to Sewing with Shaina. Today we're going to be making a face mask with a pattern made by my mother. So this is Sewing with Shaina by Patterns with Pat. And we're going to make a face mask. I will put the measurements of this in the comments because I've tried to make this video twice and screwed up the measurements both times. So I'm just going to put them in the comments. If you would like a PDF that has written instructions as well, we're happy to share that. But to get started, you need a lining material and you need your face, the part that's going to be shown, material. These are two different sizes. This is a lot different from some other patterns that I have seen. You're going to start off by marking your lining material 2.5 inches in on one side. See if you can see that. And then you're going to leave an opening. This is for the pocket. And then you're going to mark it here as well. You're going to put your right sides of your fabric together. You're going to set your sewing machine so that you can make a 3/8, I believe that's correct. Yes, a 3/8 inch stitch. And I'm going to go ahead and turn my iron on because I have to iron this next step. Mom can finger press it. I'm not that good. Okay, so you're just going to iron, or you're just going to sew from one end to your mark, back up, you know, reverse your stitches, whatever. You're going to cut your thread. I have a fancy sewing machine, so it does it for me. Then you're going to go down to the next mark and sew that all the way to the end. So you have left yourself an opening to make the pocket. Now, you open it up, you can see your hole. See? Okay, now you're going to use your handy dandy ironing board and pray that your iron has got hot enough. And you're going to iron this seam open. Now, I am switching back and forth between white thread and whatever color thread matches my masks the best. But for this seam, it doesn't matter. This seam is going to be on the inside of the mask, so it really does not matter. Now you're going to set your stitches back over so that you can do a 1/4 of the inch seam. And then you are going to, let's see if I can show this. You're going to sew that seam down on the inside of your fabric. And what this is doing is it's just kind of locking in that seam, kind of top stitching the fabric down so that you can get a pocket for your mask. Then you're going to flip your fabric over and do the same thing on the other seam. Sorry if you're shaking, sorry if that's loud. Okay. Now you have created a pocket that is a finished pocket. That's not going to come undone in the wash, okay? Now, you're going to hold, sorry, this is crooked. You're going to hold your fabric right sides together again, and you're going to seam along this side. Okay, so your pocket is here. You're going to seam this side again. Not this side again. You're going to seam the other side opposite your pocket, leaving the two sides open. So you're just going to seam down this side. Now, you're going to turn this right side out. This is again where I have to iron. Mom can finger press it. I'm not that good. Now, when you iron this, you're going to iron it so that the bottom seam is flat. That means that this top part, where we made one of the pieces of fabric bigger than the other, this top part is going to fold over, and it's going to make this handy dandy little pocket that you can then, once it's sewn together, you can slide a filter down in there. So we're going to iron this flat. To make this next seam, which is going to be our top stitching, a little bit easier. Now, I am not going to take the time to switch to my brown thread for this part. But if you are wanting to match your thread to your face masks, this is where you would switch to that thread. I sew these like an assembly line so that I don't have to switch the thread but once. And then I just have to switch it and sew however many I'm sewing. So now I'm going to, I'll move you back over here. I don't know if you can even see what I'm doing. Now I'm going to very carefully sew as narrow of a top seam along that bottom thing as I possibly can. Then I'm going to flip it over again and put a top seam at the top. Now this one, you have to be careful to get this one narrow, otherwise you will interfere with your pocket if you're not too careful. You could leave this out if you so desired, if you're nervous about interfering with that pattern, and it would probably work just fine. This is just how Patterns with Pat says to do it, so this is how I'm doing it. Okay, now you have a face mask, basically, but we have to get the pleats in. So the way that I do this is a little bit different than the pattern says to do. Sorry, Mom. And Mom does it right by the pattern, and it turns out beautifully for her, so do it however you want. Take a pen, and I hold the face mask in half, putting those two seams that you just did together. And then I just mark the middle of each section, okay? There you can see the mark. Now, I start at the bottom of the face mask, opposite the pocket. I don't know if I can tilt you down so that you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so, and you're gonna need pins for this step. 4 pins, or at least that's how many I use. Okay, so you're gonna take the mask and you're gonna fold it up until it kind of meets that mark that you just made. This is what it looks like on the front. And the way I do it is I fold it up and then I try to get the front as even as possible. This one, I don't know if you can see, it's currently, it's currently uneven. One side is really closer. So I will lay it down and I'll kind of kind of finagle it, I can talk y'all, to get it to the size that I want. And then I kind of hold one piece between my knees and pin. I pin on the inside, and then I go down to the other side and pin that. Now, there's other ways of making this with the 3 pleats. That way is fine too. We have a machine that is just for binding. It's how we bind our quilts, and it does not like the triple pleats. So that's what it looks on the inside. That's what it looks on the outside. Now you're going to fold it back over, lay it this way, and then you're going to fold this up and meet it again so that it looks like that on the inside. And then again, I kind of sit on the front and get it as even as possible and then pin it again. Okay, now you have it. It's got the spot up here. This is the top. You can see the pocket on the inside, and it's even on the front. I will even fold it in half and kind of check that my pleats are even. Then I hit it with an iron again. I cannot recommend this $12 Walmart iron enough. I absolutely love it. It's perfect size to sit here by your sewing machine and iron away. I use it constantly. It's a Steam Fast brand. It's $12 at Walmart, not a sponsor. Okay, now that's ironed. I did not do a great job with this top seam. You can see the lining fabric, but hey, I'm trying to do this quickly for you. So here, we're gonna sew again close to the edge and lock those pleats that we, don't sew over your pins like I just did, lock those pleats that we just put in into place. Now, for my part of this, this is done. If you have bias tape, which is I think what most of you would have on hand, or a binding attachment for one of your machines, you then will create a strap this way. I think she's got it listed how long those straps have to be, and then attach that right here to your mask and right here to your mask. The mask opens up like this and becomes a mask. She's also got it listed how to put a wire into the nose piece. I've seen that it's listed that some hospitals are no longer requesting that wire or asking that you actually leave the wire out. If you're donating these, please contact whoever you're donating to and see what they would prefer. But yeah, you just finish this off with binding, bias tape, whatever, and make your straps that way. We do not use elastic in ours just because we did not have any elastic on hand when this started, but we had a ton of binding. So yeah, Pat's Patterns, Sewing with Shaina, how to make a face mask. Thanks.